John chapter 14, verses 1 through 14 open up with arguably some of the most famous verses in the Bible. Do not let your hearts be troubled. Kind of ironic. I feel like lately we have a lot to be troubled about. And they are sincere fears on earth. But God's been around a lot longer. And Jesus knows the pain that people go through, so we have a sense of perspective in them. In this story, Philip and Thomas are questioning Jesus and this place that he says he has prepared for them. They're struggling with the concept of reassurance, which I believe we all are. Right now, many of us don't have reassurance. As a senior in the class of 2020, I'm struggling as we wait for announcements about graduation, struggling to see when they'll postpone prom, not being able to see my classmates every day for the rest of the year for the last quarter as before we go our separate ways. And so these are things, even those small moments, knowing that prom was coming up or knowing I was going to graduate soon, brought me the reassurance that I could get this assignment done tonight, even though I was really tired. And that is just very small scale in terms of the reassurance that Philip and Thomas were looking for. And they're looking for reassurance in the face of death, which is probably one of the greatest fears in the human condition, fearing death or looking at mortality. Jesus kept stating he has a place for us, but Philip and Thomas are constantly questioning, how do we know we can trust you? Just show us the place and then we'll know. And if I was in Jesus' position here, I would be a little upset. I would say, haven't you guys been with me and watched me perform these miracles this whole time? How can you not trust me yet? This is the concept of reassurance. But unlike me, and unlike many of us, Jesus has an unsurmountable amount of patience and takes the time to explain it. And Jesus will take the time to explain it to us every time. It doesn't matter what it is, whether it's talking about the afterlife and where we're going, or something as small as, will this test be postponed to next week? So Jesus isn't irritated like the rest of us be, and even though he should be asking, come on, haven't you guys been following me this whole time? He doesn't. He takes the time to reassure us, and he will continue to do that for us until he comes again, which he states that he will. In this dwelling that he has for us, his God has many houses for us to be in. He says that it's not only a place, but a home. And this type of diction is very important in this story, because where I am right now is a place. But I can't be sustained here. I'm not an outdoors girl. When I go home is where my mom is there. Home is where my bed is there, where I know I'll have food and a place to sleep and a place to be warm. So Jesus goes not only to the place where we will have a place to go after we move on, but it's going to be a home. And there's enough space for all of us. This is what he promises. And he also says that not only will he just meet us there, he's not going to wait for us, but he will take us there, which is also important because Jesus is our guide, and as humans, we're always looking for a little guidance. God's children are always needing a little guidance. And so that's important that Jesus explicitly states that to Philip and Thomas, that not only is there a place for us, but there's a home, and not only will he wait for us there or let us be known that it is there, but he's going to take us there with him and guide us every step of the way. He asked Philip and Thomas and all of God's children to believe in God, but also him. The work that he did and does is through God, but letting us know that we can do God's work too. We have the phrase at our church on the yellow t-shirt, God's work, our hands. And this is to a great extent that the people here with us now can bring us happiness and joy and just sharing God's word with them. They're all elements that show us how we are able to see Jesus now. But in continuation, we can only do that to a certain extent. Our trust also has to be placed in God because we don't have full control. Control versus God's presence to us of free will. I'm very much a person who likes to have all of her ducks in a row, and sometimes people have to know that it's okay to let your ducks go out of the row, especially in times as difficult and different as this. The new normal is different from the old normal, but we will always have God to turn to. So we have to trust God, not only in the big picture stuff, like facing death, looking at mortality, but also the little things like just getting through to a better tomorrow. And that's really, really important. But in the meantime, we think of the question that I remember being asked in church school many, many times, and that is, what do you think it means to do the work of Jesus? Or how do you see Jesus in your life? And we see all of the answers come mostly through people around us. Acts of kindness, love, and relationships. There is an incredible amount of God's work being done right here, right now. When we look to our first responders, the people that'll still get you your Starbucks early in the morning when you really need it, or just the people that you can call at any time when you're having a hard day, and they'll be there for you. Another example is our mothers, because we're looking to them today in great thankfulness, as they not only take on the role of Happy Mother's Day this year, but Happy Homeschool Teachers Day. And when we talk about patience and Jesus' patience for us, how about the patience that mothers have as they watch the Star Wars yoga video for Fayed with their second grader? I don't know, that's my personal experience. But this is how we're seeing God in our lives, and we're seeing God in different forms a lot lately in our lives. So this patience that's being shown to us, and the amount of love and help and acts of kindness that are happening around us, that is the reassurance that we will get through and we will move on, and the new normal will become normal again. We just have to have the patience, and we have to have the reassurance. So this is important, that we turn to God and Jesus, not only in the little things, also the big things, but in every aspect of our life. Turn to them, turn to the people you love, and let not your hearts be troubled, because I'm telling you, God's got it covered. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers.